Hello, Gemini. This is Adrian Obi, Capricorntigress of Astrology, a look inside, intuitive astrologer, coming to you with your astrological review for the month of March 2019. Now, I'm excited to get to you, Geminis, because you are my last reading of the month. And I do feel sorry for that. You guys got the short end of the stick this month. You were the last reading of the month, but it just means that you Geminis need to participate more and reach out to me a little bit more, and maybe I'll move you up a little bit more in my readings. So let's see what's going on for you gems for the month of March. Just waiting to see what I want to talk about first. Notice I didn't put that there. Okay, Geminis. You know, the big thing for you guys really is going to be that new moon that's going to be in your 10th house as of March 6th. Now, there's other things going on as well, because as of March 6th, Mercury retrogrades in Pisces, and it is going to be retrograde up until the 28th of the month. It retrogrades at 29 degrees, but it goes station direct at 16 degrees on the 28th. So it's going to be up in that 10th house all month going retrograde. That's from the 5th of the month to the 28th of the month. But also in that 10th house, we've got Neptune there. And Mercury's going to be there for the most part, during the month. And so that's, with Mercury retrograding and Neptune, that just, and the new moon is going to be on the 6th. I would say from the 6th until that full moon, which is, 2 weeks later, be extra cautious about everything, because there's probably a possibility that you forgot or neglected something. It's Neptune, and Mercury is retrograding. So what you can do is, I would say almost on a daily basis, from the 6th to the 20th, is reflect, review every day that you, and reassess what you've done. And then, redo as needed. Like if you've got to redo your work, retrace your steps. One of the secrets that I have learned to Mercury retrograde is that when it is retrograde, that we rethink things, we rethink things, we redo things, we review things, we rejuvenate things, we revive things, we reevaluate things, we resist things, it can go on and on with the rewords. It can go for, I've done it for hours once. It's amazing. But in your case, this is all happening in the 10th house of your career. Wow. Couple of things could happen. I mean, it might just be that you have to review some of the things that you've done in your career. You might have to take a moment to reflect on the things that you've done or said in your career. I mean, it is, Neptune's been there for a minute. And Neptune is, confusing. And it can cause delusions and illusions. And I just want to make sure that there's nothing like that occurs for you in the month of March. It's better to know than not know, right? And don't forget, Pisces naturally squares Gemini, so it just could be something that's happening anyway. That moon and sun in the 10th house on the 6th kind of conjoins with Uranus going into Taurus that day as well. And so that's your 12th house of self-undoing. And Mars is going to be there too. Sorry. Wow. So Uranus is, wow. Good thing is that you've got Aries on the 11th house overall. So even though Mars is in the 12th, Uranus is in the 11th. It's not that great. I tell you what, Chiron's going into Aries. Chiron is going to be in your 11th house of, someone's talking about me, my nose keeps itching. It's crazy. Chiron is in your 11th house of hopes and dreams and wishes. And in the month of March, well, it's going to be later in the month because, okay, on the 20th is the full moon. And the full moon is going to be happening in Libra. And Libra is in your, your natural fifth house, your solar fifth house here. But opposing it, the sun is going to be in Aries, opposing that full moon on the 20th. And it's going to be in the early degrees of Aries, like 0 degrees. Well, Chiron's going to be in the early degrees of Aries too. And so somewhere along that line of that full moon, there's probably going to be some kind of conjunction to that sun and Chiron in the 11th house of hopes and dreams and wishes, opposing the full moon down in the 5th house. Maybe it's that you feel like you can't get your hopes and dreams and wishes, like you can't get the friends that you want, or you feel like you have to heal that area. Like perhaps you lost a friend, someone that you care about so much, and all you want is to heal that wound because it's like an open wound that's there that needs to be healed. And that could be just a friend, one individual friend, or it could be where it's just you and maybe a group of people, like an association or a group or an organization of some kind, because that's what is ruled by the 11th house. It could literally mean an entire, like an alumni association, a Rotary group, or it could just be like a Facebook group or a club that you belong to, but somehow there's a wound there. There's something that needs to be healed there. When the sun gets into Aries and it opposes that moon, I'm just telling you, you may feel this. This is all may come out during the month of March or something that you might feel there, because that Chiron is just setting up like a natural opposition to the 5th house of like love and romance and fun and joy. And the joy is in the 5th house and it's being opposed by Chiron, which to me is the planetoid of tears. Wherever I see Chiron, I see crying. I've said that in a couple of videos. So I see the sun on the planetoid of tears in the 11th house. Like especially after the 20th. So from the 20th to the end of the month, you may feel that. And this is actually also being exacerbated. Well, I wouldn't say right away, but probably by the end of the month or April, you'll start feeling that, because eventually this is going to have, it's going to be a while. That full moon is definitely going to make a square, though. It's going to be a while before the sun squares the North Node in Cancer. But there's definitely going to be a square coming in from the full moon. Hold on for 1 second. Hi, honey. Can I call you back? I'm right in the middle of doing a reading. Okay, I'll call you back. Okay, bye. It's like he can sniff when I'm doing a reading. How is that? Anyway, so just be aware of that possibility with Chiron in the 11th house. One of the other things that really concerns me during the month of March is that you've got a packed 8th house. It starts out with, when is Venus? Venus doesn't go into Pisces until the 26th. So it starts out, you've got Saturn and Pluto in the 8th house of other people's money, of like secrets, deeply hidden embedded things, and Saturn is there and Pluto is there begging you to like let it go and revive yourself from the ashes. And Saturn is there telling you to look at this, whatever it is, responsibly. It could be something simple, as though like someone owes you money, or you have to pay your taxes, or it could be issues dealing with, I mean, if I go deeper, it could be sexual issues. And if anyone's dealing with anything, like I talk about those things, you could set up an appointment with me, but there could be some issues like that because Saturn is restrictive and Pluto tends not to be. And so there could be some issues there. Venus is going to be in the ninth house in the sign of Aquarius for most of the month, and it goes into Pisces on the 26th. But while Venus is in the ninth house of Aquarius, it's a really great time to educate yourself, to open up your mind to a deeper consciousness and an awareness spiritually, because the ninth house rules your spirituality. I believe it would be a great time to do that with Jupiter in Sag, and the ninth house is the natural house of Sag. And Aquarius and Sag naturally sextile each other. So it would be a great time to, while Venus is there, it should be pleasant to really look and evaluate your value system, your philosophical beliefs, possible, take a class, even talk to someone that you respect, as far as getting a teacher or a leader or someone who can help coach you through things. There could be some legal issues or political issues that come to play, because the ninth house also deals with those types of issues as well. So that is one of the ways that it can come out. And lastly, I feel that I have to go back to it. That Mars in the 12th house. Yeah. Uranus and Mars and Taurus in that 12th house. You're going to feel that, Gems. You're going to feel that because it's a deep house. It's a hidden house. It's your house of self-undoing. It could be that, normally you might have a drink a night and it's fine. But suddenly you find with Mars and Uranus there, you want like a couple of drinks a night or a bottle a night. Like, you really have to keep an eye on what's going on in the house of self-undoing during the month of March, when Mars and Uranus are in the 12th house. It can make you do things you really don't really want to do, and then you'll regret them, because Mars makes you act almost recklessly, and so does Uranus. So there could be some reckless action. I could even see like that, walk of shame when you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, what did I do? Yeah. So really keep an eye on that, and like anything that would lead you to make poor decisions. With so much emphasis in Pisces in your 10th house, and then Mars and Uranus in the 12th house, that is the house of Pisces, and Taurus and Pisces are sextile. So they're working in conjunction with each other. Please be aware that, you might be a little looser than you normally would be. And yeah, watch that. So that's really my message for the month. Just wanted to make sure I went over everything. Mercury retrograde as of the 6th of March, goes direct on the 28th of March at 16 degrees. But most of the month, it's going to be in Pisces in your 10th house. Also, Uranus enters Taurus, as I mentioned, on March 6th and stays there actually until April 7th of 2026. So it's that Uranus in the 12th house. This isn't just a 1 month thing. I mean, Mars in the 12th house, yeah, but Uranus in the 12th house, you're going to have to watch that, like drinking and maybe just acting out more than you might have before. That's just one of those things. As I mentioned, the new moon is in Pisces. That's going to be at 15 degrees. That's also your 10th house. That's March 6th. On the 20th, we've got the sun in Aries, the full moon in Libra at 0 degrees. And that's first and seventh house issues. Although for you, it's 11th and fifth house issues, which that just gives me the feeling of like friend versus romance. Like, I don't know if there is a romance with a friend or a friend versus your romance, or any hidden secret messing with friends going on, but that could possibly be there. And so be aware of that. March 26th, Venus goes into Pisces. March 28th, Mercury goes direct at 16 degrees. And on March 31st, Mars enters Gemini, your sign, where you'll get a boost of energy and it'll be out of the 12th house, which probably made you cry. I'm so sorry, Gems. The 12th house is not fun, but it'll be a lot better once Mars gets into Gemini at the end of the month of March. Sorry, I had to wait to the end of the month, but April is going to be so much better with all the emphasis in Aries and Gemini Mars in your first house. Get ready for that. Okay, you guys. Well, this has been Capricorntigress with your reading gems for the month of March 2019. And if you haven't already, please like and share and subscribe our videos. And like and subscribe to our blog at astrologyalookinside.com. And you can also find us at facebook.com/astrologyalookinside. And we also have a group on Facebook, which is facebook.com/groups/astrologyalookinside. And finally, I do have a Patreon account now, so you can find me at patreon.com/Capricorntigress. Well, it's been my pleasure doing this reading for you tonight, and happy St. Patty's Day to you all. That is the month of March, right? Not too much drinking on St. Patty's Day again. That Mars and Uranus is going to be in the 12th house. Much love and much light to you all. Namaste.